this. Behold the spellbinding abilities of Rivenwood Academy.
Hi, we are now semi-live. Hi, I'm Kira858, and we're bringing you Season 2, Episode 23 of Rivenwood Academy. We just have one major announcement. One of our campaigns, Gods of Color, has a brand new dice set that was created by Die Hard Dice. The dice set is called the Prismatic Pantheon, and you get a discount off of this dice set by using the promo code COOKOUT. That is COOKOUT. Not only does this give you a portion off your order, but it helps us as content creators. And now you too can roll like a demigod. And with that, we're just going to transition over to our fantastic DM. Aaron, take it away.
Oh man, I'm in the hot seat so quick. Hi everyone, good evening where I am from. Welcome back. We had a fun little one-shot last time, and so I've had double the amount of time to forget what happened in our last session, which is great. I'm very excited. From what my players have reminded me, we ended at the safe house, having saved Ardris's mother from her petrification, as well as her personal guard. Ardris's mother is currently sleeping it off in the guest room downstairs underneath the stairs. Several people have headed up to go to bed. Micah is on watch, facing the door, and we're going to start with Ardris. So Ardris, what are you doing? As you know, the layout of this place is so difficult to get good lines of sight and to really see what's going on. So pretty much anywhere you are, if you're not actively in the room with someone else, you have privacy.
Ardris is going to rest near his mother's room. Well, no, she's in the guest room, I think, so near that room for his trance.
Yeah, you can do so if you want to and be able to see Micah from where you are. Because the view from next to where that door is the stairs would be on your left, and you could look forward and see Micah, and the front door would be just out of your line of sight. Does that sound like where you'd like to be?
That is acceptable.
And you're going to trance? I
will.
Cool. So Ardris starts to lapse into trance. Miri, you've gone upstairs to go to bed, correct?
Yes.
Was there anything you were doing before bed?
She was actually talking to Gravity.
Ooh, all right. We're gonna have a piece of that. What does that look like? As I remember, Gravity's told you, to be fair, I am a pretty sword.
Yes, I know you're a pretty sword. Now, let's get ready for bed. Mm-hmm. She sets the sword next to her on the bed, they're gonna sleep next to each other. And she just kind of looks up at the ceiling and just says, so, what about that, thing I keep hearing with all the strings and stuff? Do you see that too? Or do you hear it?
Do I hear about the strings? I mean, I know about the strings, but hearing, a little more difficult to answer.
Well, not hearing the strings. You can't hear a string. More the thing that talks about the strings.
Oh, no. I haven't heard any talk about the strings except from you. I do like mine is purple, though.
Well, yes, but I don't know. It's a bit weird that I can't see them.
But you can't see them. The one who talks of strings.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard of that before? The strings. Maybe there's even, I don't know, something cool that you kind of know about where you come from that maybe talks about the strings.
Miri, for this 5 minutes, you're my favorite character. I need you to just roll me a straight D20.
All right. That is a 16.
Very
These dice, I can't read these dice. Which is what is that?
So you ask this question of Gravitus, and Gravitus gets quiet for a moment. Then it goes, there are legends. Legends of people who are gifted, sight. Legends of people who, how do I put it, understand the way things weave together. I haven't heard of one in quite some time, but the last one was pretty impressive.
Who was the last one?
Oh, it's been ages. Who can remember a name for that long?
Oh, I would assume you.
Oh, now you're just flattering me.
Do these people that see those weave thing, do they have a name, maybe? What they're called?
Do they have
Like a weaver or something? I don't know.
Oh, that would be pretty cool. Like, you could be like the weaver, right?
Oh. Why does it make me sound like I make baskets all the time?
It does. Maybe we can come up with something a little more modern. You know, it's interesting because the last time I saw the, well, whatever we're calling the Weaver, so long ago. It's when I was left in that forest. Nah, it's escaped me. Sorry. I'm sure that she had a super cool title, but yours will be better.
I guess, I suppose. You know what? We'll talk about it in the morning. We should probably get some sleep.
Hey, Mary.
Yes?
You know I'm always by your side, right?
Yes, I know that. I always keep you on my side.
Amazing things together.
Yes?
If you just, I don't know, explore your potential a little.
Are you asking me to use you more often?
I mean, yes. This talk has been lovely. I feel like we're already so much closer. We could stand to talk more.
I don't mean to ignore you. I guess I just kind of got caught up in a lot of the things that are going on right now.
I know. Before you had all these friends, I felt like we talked quite a bit. And I'm trying not to be jealous, but you're the only one I can talk to right now.
I will always be your friend, but I will talk to you more.
And use me more.
Yes, if it comes up, I won't just wave you around for no reason.
If it comes up. All right, I'll make you a deal.
Okay.
All right, you tell me one secret. I'll tell you one secret.
Oh, a secret?
That way we're closer, you know. Like a sleepover party.
Oh, I haven't been at one of those in a long time.
This is kind of like a sleepover. At least the ones that I think that I've heard you speak about. Because every time I sleep, it's a sleepover. Maybe?
Yeah, I guess so. A secret, though. So usually the people got the secrets.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be something like you're scared about or nervous about or something. It can just be something that you haven't already told me. What was it like to be petrified? Like, was it scary? Were you aware? I wonder if it was anything like when I was stuck in the forest.
I mean, I don't really remember a lot of it. It was dark. And it was scary. I didn't think I would see anybody anymore.
Honestly, it sounds more like what I feel like in my scabbard. Well, that's unfortunate. All right. How about a promise?
Okay.
It's got to be a good promise, though. What are you going to promise?
I promise I will use you more and take you out
I
of
need
your
some
scabbard.
smart goals here, girl. Specific and measurable, if you please.
Well, you got to give me like a good baseline. If you got to give me like a,
Okay, how about every day you talk to me for like, I don't know, at least 10 minutes? Something small.
How about 15?
Oh, I knew you were my favorite. Excellent. Promise?
I promise.
Hey, are you on roll 20?
Yes.
I will put this in your journal.
Oh.
See it now?
I do.
The last one you just used, which is why you rolled it.
Oh, okay. Oh. Interesting.
Already so much closer. Imagine what we could do with a little more time.
Yes, but now you have to tell me a secret.
This is my secret.
Oh.
You've been swinging me around like a piddly little rapier that you can buy off of a store. I am so much more than that.
Well, I guess it's going to change now. I promise that.
15 minutes every day.
15 minutes every day.
Wonderful. What else do you do on a sleepover? I've kind of run out of ideas.
Well, when Cleo and I were having ours, we used to braid each other's hair, but I don't think I can really do that for you.
I mean, I could use like a tassel or something. That would be sweet.
Oh, you could. You know what? Mary is going to get up out of the bed and start looking around the room for perhaps like a little curtain or something like on, like a little tassel somewhere on the bedding.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not gonna make you roll for this. You find a tassel, like connected to a pillar or whatever. It's like one of those golden kind of tassels that's a little bit thicker, like what's on a graduation cap.
Nice. Okay, she'll use gravities to cut it off.
Yes. I am made for destruction and the finest things in life.
Nice. And then she'll fasten it to the hilt.
How do I look?
I think you look beautiful.
This might be the first time I've had a new look in centuries.
Gold really is your color.
Oh, you're just saying that.
No. Now, let's get back into bed. Maybe I could even decorate your scabbard.
Oh, don't make promises you can't keep.
Well, who said I wasn't going to keep it?
All right. This has been nice.
It has been.
And the sword is silent again.
All right. Mary will start thinking of designs to put on Gravitace's scabbard.
Yeah, you go to sleep with visions of like metalwork dancing in your head. Excellent. We're gonna switch on over to Micah. Micah, could you please make me a perception check?
Sure. Okay. Let me double check what my perception is. All right. Ooh, 17 on his die. So that's going to be plus 7, 24.
24, very nice. It's interesting as you kind of go into, power down mode. You're a watchful sentry that is unmoving, unblinking, unbreathing, just waiting, like ridiculously patient. In the corner of your eye, you can see Ardris to your left, who is in trance. You're staring at the door, and man, is this house quiet. You think if someone coughed on the second floor, you'd know. It is impressive, like acoustically, how well you can hear. And also, I'm trying to remember if you're aware that Ardris put up Private Sanctum. Were you outside when Ardris put it up? I don't think you were. I think you were already back inside.
Yeah, I was already back inside, yeah.
Okay. You can hear the surrounding nature from outside of, like, the walls of the safe house. But it feels very still. Like, sound is coming through, but, like, it's weird because, like, magic is in the background of everything you guys do all the time. And right now, like, something is muted. And it makes you feel quite safe, actually. And you feel like you are doing a very good job keeping watch because you know, like, your eyes and ears are wide open and you feel like a sense of security from whatever's going on outside. It doesn't strike you as, like, strange or worrying.
All right, so it feels comforting in a way. Okay.
Yes.
All right, yeah. So Micah, aka C, is just
AKA C.
Yeah, is just keeping an eye out. Maintaining as best of a perimeter as possible. That's their primary goal, is just making sure, especially because they told, I think his name was Zelius, that they'll take care of the house so he could be able to rest for the night. So they want to make sure that they keep up on their promise.
Wonderful. It's Imrit, by the way.
Imrit.
I'm sorry. Imrit was the one who was smashed. Etienne is the one who is currently resting. Yes.
Gotcha. My apologies. Etienne. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So C and Micah remain vigilant in a house that they are certain is secured. We'll bump over to Otis. Otis, as you head up to bed, was there anything you did before bed?
Besides talk to Miri, he would have went straight into his room. And he would have cast a certain spell, but we talked about that. So can Otis do a little bit of the attunement process to his amulet before
Absolutely.
bed? Okay.
Absolutely. So for an hour, you focus in on this symbol. For Otis, what does, like, focus look like? Like, you weren't raised in some sort of, like, monastery or something. What does it look like as you're trying to focus on it?
Just intense staring. Like Otis, whenever he's meditated as a druid, he's always just leaned up against a tree and closed his eyes. But since he's concentrating on an object, he'd be staring at the object.
So I think you end up with your back against a wall, kind of trying to, like, with muscle memory, recreate some of that. And you're staring down at the symbol. And you can see it is a symbol of a tree that is on, like, the edge of, like, this cliff, like, mountain overlooking an ocean. And the tree itself is clearly, like, bright and living and well flourishing with lots and lots of leaves. There are some, like, birds in the background, and then there is a face in the the trunk of the tree. And as you stare at it, it's like the longer you stare at it, the more details you see. At first you notice the tree, and then you notice how it is built into the side of this, like, mountainous cliff. And then you notice the ocean, and then you notice the birds. And then it's almost like it's moving. Like the waves are carved in such a way you feel like it's just a split second from actually crashing. The birds are simple little lines, but you swear as you're staring at it, they move. And as you spend your hour focusing on this symbol, you find yourself getting drawn further and further into it until you start to hear the sound of waves. And you start to hear birds overhead and breeze through the trees. And then you look up and you see the exact same tree that you've been staring at this amulet in front of you. Its leaves dappled in beautiful bright sunlight, hundreds of birds overhead, swooping and nesting. It is a immensely large, gargantuan tree built onto this cliff. And the face is facing you and is set in kind of like the serene smile.
Who are you?
All that is. Who are you?
I'm Otis.
I know.
Then why'd you ask me?
Well, I guess I wanted to see what you would say.
That's weird.
Many people have many names. Some people have things that they want to be known by more than just a name.
Okay, that's not so weird.
No? So,
Oh, go ahead.
if you were known by something other than Otis, what would you be known for?
I ain't thought about nothing like that.
Are you sure? Seems like you've thought about it a lot.
I mean, there's my parents' name. I don't like that.
No, I don't mean them. In fact, I would really rather you didn't associate with them at all.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Well, I was more thinking about the choices you make, who you like to be around.
Well, I got folks I like to be around and folks I don't.
And your favorites?
Well, of course, I love Nazareth. She's my best friend.
And as you say that, Nazareth appears next to you. And then swoops a big white circle all around the very, very, very broad base of this tree. And then when she gets to you, she does this kind of little acrobatic flip and then starts to climb up and is flying up as high as she can go. Oh,
What's
yes.
she doing here? I thought she was with the kid.
Nazareth has told me many good things about you.
She was talking to you and I didn't know about it?
No. All that is talks to me. Even you.
I don't remember talking to you.
Well, sometimes talking isn't always words, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes instead of words, we do things like destroy people who catch our forests on fire.
Yeah.
Or take care of wounded people, injured animals.
Yeah.
You are very special to me, Otis.
Why?
Oh. Well, I guess if I were going to put a word to it, I would say that you're special to me because I choose you.
What you choosing me for?
Well, I guess it depends on if you choose to accept.
Accept what?
There are some who I choose to grant a rare gift.
I ain't got much money. I gotta share that with everybody else.
Oh, no, the one that is all does not care for money.
I don't know what you care about, except you just said us.
I care about the natural world, nature, the birds and plants, all that is. And I've seen how much you care about it too.
Okay.
And I know that soon you will be in a great time of need.
Okay.
Long story short, you do what you want, but I would like to offer you the power to do it.
Otis is definitely intrigued. Facially speaking, visually.
The face that is in the base of the tree, again, massive. So the face is also just really large. Again, very calm, very serene, but there's definitely a little kind of almost mischievous smile on it. And you watch as the face looks up, so you look up, and you see Nazareth fall into a dive and come almost all the way to the ground and then swoop back up again. And then back down and comes and rests on your shoulder.
Otis is going to attempt to pet her.
You can. You do.
Okay.
And Nazareth turns to you and is like, what do you think?
Well, what do you think? It's not like I know what's going on here. It might affect both of us.
I'm always with you.
Otis looks deeply comforted by this statement.
And you hear the voice of Paranon say, and I am always with you.
Well, I don't know you like that.
It is amazing in all that you do not know me, how well you have done.
So what's the offer?
The offer is I grant you, let's call it a gift, a boon. Something that your heart truly desires. It will unfortunately require some sacrifice, but not nearly as much as I think you are worried it might cost.
What you asking me to give up?
No. It's not giving up. It's a change. It is becoming a deeper communion with nature, something a little bit more concrete.
Well, it sounds like I'm going to have to give up doing something. I can't do it no more.
No. That may be how you interpret it.
Well, if my friends say they're going to be with me through whatever, and Nazareth's okay with it, I guess I'll take it. I can do what I want without being worried about so much.
Otis, will you take my name?
I guess so, yeah.
Do you know my name?
No.
And the tree just laughs, and you hear all of the birds fly up, and there's like this very happy sound coming from all the birds as they begin to whirl in this massive flock. And you have a moment where that giddy laughter is like, it feels buoyant, like it's infectious, like you can't help but feel happy and laughter, and you feel like you could take flight. And then you do. One moment, and let me put this in your journal.
Oh my.
I picked the right one. I always forget which one of your names is which. Can you see it?
Yes. Okay.
You take to the air and soar. Now you tell me, what does it look like?
Am I this in every sense of the word?
Everything in there is true, baby. It's all true.
Oh, your boy getting some brown wings.
Large brown wings sprout as you shape change from your normal form into a large owl. And you take to the sky with your flock. And you understand everything that is being said from all of the birds and all of the plants and all of the animals around you. And you feel as Nazareth climbs and joins you and just begins spiraling around you as you fly. You're probably going to need a moment to read everything because there's quite a bit to read.
Oh, yeah.
I would draw your attention specifically to the right-hand side, which might explain a few things.
Mm-hmm.
But this is completely true. And as you find yourself, like, laughingly blinking awake, it is still true when you are back in the room.
Fascinating. Well, I'm sure Otis is tired.
Yeah. So it is your choice if you are in owl form, hybrid form, or humanoid form at any given moment.
Oh, he has that much control. Nice.
Yes. Unless you go down to 0 hit points, that's the only time that it's just like you're automatically reverted back to your humanoid form.
It makes sense.
But
Okay.
as an action, you can change.
Now, Otis will stay humanoid and go to sleep. Like, that's definitely going to be the form he's most comfortable with at the moment.
Yeah. Nazareth is not currently in the room with you because Nazareth is sitting on C/Micah's shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
But you feel like that warm pulse of Nadine. Like, you feel the joy and happiness that Nadine's currently feeling. /Nazareth.
Yo,
Take some time to read it. Let me know if you have any questions because there's quite a bit to it, all right?
Got it.
Cool.
Thank you,
We'll leave
Aaron.
you as you're going to sleep. It wasn't worth it.
We're
Wasn't
going to
worth
find out. We're going to find out. I definitely enjoy it story-wise.
All right. Let's see. We bumped into 4 of our friends so far. Kellen.
Dungeon Master.
What you up to?
This is that same night after I spoke to OK, right?
Yeah, so I think that where we left you, if I remember correctly, is y'all were in that room and he had taken feverish notes about the spell that you were describing
Okay.
that Sylvana had used. If there was anything you want to do to wrap up before that scene ended, you can.
I don't think so. At the moment, Kellen's just waiting for OK to leave silently while thinking out in his head how to the way he's thinking out a plan in his head here related to the previous conversation
Gotcha.
with OK.
Yeah. He doesn't notice at all for quite a considerable long time as he's completely focused on what he's doing. Eventually he does kind of look up and he's like, oh, I guess it's getting kind of late. I should probably at least do this work in the other room. Good night, Colin.
Oh, sure. Night.
And you hear that door shut and the door directly next to you open as he goes in there. Do you think you eventually find sleep as you're trying to think through this problem?
Yeah, he, after OK leaves, he just goes to lay down and starts trying to work it out while laying in bed, which is probably pretty typical that, like, he just thinks until eventually his brain gets tired enough that, like, he finds sleep.
Mood. Yeah, all right, sure, no problem. I would say it probably takes a while, but you do eventually exhaust yourself into sleep thinking through all of this. Which I think leaves just Yvain. Hey, Yvain, you weren't here last time, but you were here last time.
I was here, but not here, yes.
For a quick recap, you made it to the place. You, Loom and Jarhan were waiting there. Healed Argis's mom and her personal guard. And that was pretty much it before people started to get tired and go to bed. There's a couple. I mean, there's some talk. Like we talked a little bit about spies. Or just talked a little bit about the book and State of Seals. Other than that, nothing specific that Yvain was up to. So as Yvain heads to bed, what's on Yvain's mind?
Probably just how strange everything has been here recently. Like she's still trying to process like what's fully going on. I think that's just about it. She's just like, oh, it's been a little weird here recently, but it's okay. They're all very nice. It's still a bit weird.
As you go and lay down, it's a lovely room. Like it's ridiculous. These people in their safe house have way nicer furnishings than you've probably ever slept in your life, outside of ours' home in the capital city itself. Like it's crazy that they flee to their like glamping studio here.
Apprehensively trying not to touch anything that looks too expensive.
Right. Before you go to bed, anything that you have to do?
I feel like normal. She changes into her pajamas because she still is a little proper. Does some prayers, and then reads just for a little bit.
Oh, nice. What are you reading?
Her poetry book.
Ah, lovely. So with the probably very familiar words of poetry kind of echoing back in your mind, eventually you do find the book kind of doing the thing where it starts to hit you in the face because you stop being able to hold it upright because you're falling asleep. Yeah, something I do all the time. So eventually you do put it away, fall asleep. And you have a dream.
Oh, no.
It is a dream of how you first met Isolde. So I'm going to let you describe what does this dream look like.
She was very small, very scared, and just staring up at this woman she has no idea who it is. And looking around for somebody else who's probably not there.
You find yourself in the dream kind of looking around, and it does that weird dream thing where everything shifts, but it doesn't feel like you've moved. And instead of like the room you're in, you're now in like this open wheat field with Isolde still standing in front of you. But now she's walking in front of you, away from you.
She's gonna try and run to catch up to her.
You run as fast as your tiny little legs will take you. And you run and you run and you feel yourself getting out of breath and you're not getting any closer. Doesn't look like she's moving fast at all. She's barely, it's a very stately kind of slow pace. But no matter how hard you try to run, you're not getting any closer than you were when you started.
Just gonna stop again. Just kind of like look around to see what's going on, if there's a reason.
As you look around in this wheat field, all of the wheat is like taller than you are. And you look around and then you try to turn back to find the path you were just on, and it's not there. You're stuck by yourself and there's no clear path in any direction. You don't see Isolde. You don't see anyone.
There's panic. Small panic.
And yeah.
I feel like she just like turns like in a circle, like trying to figure out where the path went and just can't find anything. And it's just kind of like, oh no.
I think, and as that panic starts to hit and you start breathing just a little bit faster, you wake up, and that panic is very, very real in a physiological sense. You're still feeling it, even though like your rational brain understands it was a dream and it wasn't even all that scary. But like your body is very much like I just ran forever and I was lost in a place that I had no safety in.
She's trying to like throw off the blankets, like trying to throw her book, just trying to get out of bed.
C. It is approximately 3 a.m. It's a little bit earlier than anyone should be getting up because how early everyone went to bed. Ardris has been up for just a little bit, and I assume Ardris has went into his mother's room.
Oh, you're muted.
Yes.
Okay. A couple of hours ago, you saw Ardris get up and go to his mother's room, or the guest room under the stairs, rather. Right now, you hear movement on the second floor.
C will turn their head in a very jerky fashion to the sound. Kind of cock their hot head to the side a bit before take a look and see what the sound may be.
What do you do after you wake up, Yubin?
I feel like in her panic, like once she gets out of bed, she's just like pacing like in a circle in the room, just trying to like calm herself down.
Yeah. I've done the thing where I wake up and I'm halfway to the front door before I realize, I was in a dream and why am I moving? So I'm imagining just like that rapid pacing. You hear footsteps coming from the second floor. However, they don't seem to be getting any closer, C. They're just footsteps.
C will take a glance over at the door to make sure they don't spot anything for the last time. And when they can confirm they don't see anything from the front door, they're going to make their way up the stairs to investigate the footsteps.
Mm-hmm. You walk up. Everything seems pretty quiet except for these footsteps, and you're able to follow the sound of them to one specific door.
Once they hear it behind the door, they'll pause for a second, listen to the pattern of the footsteps being made. They will cock their head to the side because it doesn't sound rapid and sound a little erratic because of the pacing. And they're going to knock on the door for twice just to see if someone will open up. Because I don't think they know who's actually staying in this room.
You don't, not yet.
Mm-hmm. So they'll knock on the door and be like, hello?
No, one moment. Like she's gonna go grab her robe off the foot of her bed and put it on and just open the door just like this much to peek out.
Oh, it was you.
Oh, I apologize. Yes, it's just little trouble sleeping.
Sleeping. What is wrong?
Just a bad dream.
Bad dream.
Oh, she's here too. Oh, hello.
Hello. Bad dream?
Yes, just a bad dream.
Would you want to talk about it?
It's just, I think it'll pass. It should pass. It's all right. It's just a bad dream.
They kind of turn their head to the side because even though they're definitely a lot more robotic than last time, they still recall the first time they made this transformation that Yvain was by reading them poetry. So they're looking up at her. They're looking back at the door. And they pause for a second before saying, is there any way I can help?
Oh, she will open the door a little bit more, and she'll kneel down a little closer to Micah's level. Well, you coming to check up has helped.
I'm And they kind of look, because it looks like they're trying to process something within themselves, and they don't really know what is reflecting there. They look up and say, well, if you would like to talk, I will be on guard downstairs.
Thank you. If it happens again, I'll come down and see you. Okay. Thank you again for checking up on me.
Of course, you read us poetry. I would like incorrect. I will return. And they start to head back down the stairs.
She's just gonna gently close the door, pick up her book, put it on the nightstand, and then just crawl back into bed and just pull the blankets up over her head.
Yeah, and Micah definitely heads. C definitely heads back down the stairs, but they're actually a bit curious because there's some. Well, anyways, more in character content, but yeah, they head back down the stairs and return to watch.
As you settle back into watch, Nazareth is on your shoulder still in that same spot of kind of being in between you and this apparition of the Moldrin that you see. And Nazareth turns to look at you. Ever.
You notice it too.
Notice?
The and they kind of look towards the apparition on the side next to him of the Modron before looking back up. That you see it.
I see it.
They kind of look towards the ground for a second before returning back to Nazareth and saying, "You are the first to notice."
I notice. Do you want to talk? And Nazareth seems to struggle with those words, but is trying to copy what you said to Yvain.
They pause for a second and they look up and say, "I have no desire. Desire is not meant for me."
Desire is not meant for me.
They look up, and for a split second, you see the humanistic form starts to take place in Micah's expression as their eyes return back to their youthful look, and they look up towards Nazareth, and they say, "Hey, thank you."
Thank you.
And before they can say another word, poof, it reverts back. and they sit back down.
You hear a very sad Luminari and a soft glow as Nazareth makes a couple of turns and then gets back on your shoulder in between C's head and the Moldron.
And C kind of looks over. They're a bit confused. There's definitely like a stunning fashion of why is Nazareth between the two, but they can't understand it, and so they just turn their head, and then they go back to looking at the door because they remember they were given a command of watching the place. As they return back to more watch like nature.
Takes a beat, but eventually Nazareth copies you and turns and faces the door. Ardris, you've been up for a couple hours. You moved into your mother's room to find that she was still sleeping.
I will quickly go and change my clothes into something presentable.
Nice. That does feel very Ardris. So you run up, you've got clothes here. Like, they have a person who comes out every so often just to refresh the place and make sure that all the clothes still fit for the growing members of the family and this kind of thing. Like, you got clothes here. What? Tell me what you look like. Give me that
He is wearing more kind of spring brighter colors, and it is kind of a mixture of like a pantsuit, but with kind of like a shawl that kind of comes down the left side of his body, that is matching in the house's colors with the insignia on the left side. And then he's wearing a kind of a band that ties around the top of his head.
That is amazing. Yes, absolutely. So you come down looking nice. You pass again by Micah, C, who is staring at the door. Seems to be aware that you're coming past, just not interested. And you go back into your mother's room, or is there anyone else you wanted to go? Take your time.
If she's still resting, then I will not bother her. I will just quickly check the entrances of the house to make sure there was no mistakes with my magic or anything out of the ordinary.
Do you plan to go outside of the house and check as well?
If I don't see anything in the immediate house, then no. But if I see something concerning, then yeah, I'll go do a full walk around.
You take a little bit of time to go through kind of all of the nooks and crannies that separate the two main entrances on the first floor. You're aware of an emergency exit on the second floor, so you go up in order to look at it to make sure everything's secure. It takes you about 30 minutes, 45 minutes to do the full run to double check everything, but nothing seems out of the ordinary.
And I will go and wait for others.
Where are you waiting?
The main foyer, whatever the fancy word for a main room is.
Sure. The main fancy place. Yeah. Again, compared to your summer home, sort of your political home, this is not an open floor plan. This is the opposite of an open floor plan. This is a very closed floor plan. So, like, even that space feels kind of cramped just because there's no real lines of sight. You think you can easily get there. Is there anything you want to do while you're waiting? Because you've got maybe a couple hours to go.
I don't think so, actually. I will cast Mage Armor on myself.
All right, you will take the whole 10 minutes, maybe 1 minute. How long does Mage Armor? It's a very quick cast.
Yeah, just one action.
Oh, never mind. I don't know why I thought it took a minute. You take an action that feels like it takes a minute because you have nothing else to do. But you do so. Maybe there's a nice little book you can read or something while you're waiting. We're going to fast forward.
Is there anything in the magic book?
Well, do you want to look at it?
Oh, magic book.
So you open the book and you notice that since you have slept, it does appear like the page has refreshed.
What does it say? Or is it empty?
Currently it's empty.
Mhm. I will wait because if I remember correctly, I only get a few questions like per day, and I will wait until later.
Okay.
I won't write in it.
So you like open it up and you're like, this is too much responsibility. Close it again.
It's too soon. You don't waste the questions in an hour, then can't ask the question later. You have to be smart.
Fair enough. All right, you put it away, you while away the couple of hours. Around about 5 o'clock, you start hearing movement. Both of you start hearing movement from your mother's room underneath the stair.
I will go check on her.
Okay. See, you notice that Argus goes past you and heads to the room of the stair and walks inside. Inside, your mother is awake and up and dressed in very nice clothing and looks to be her normal self.
Morning. I hope you are doing well.
Good morning, Argus. I am well. Still a bit on the tired side, but well. And you?
I am fine, of course. I apologize for not being able to come here sooner.
No apologies are needed. You came as soon as you could, and nothing was harmed for the wait.
Yes, I suppose so. Is there anything I can do for you?
I suppose I would like to hear more about what's going on with you. The last I heard, you were at your school. Now you're here.
Yes, there was an event, unfortunate. The school is no more.
That is unfortunate. Perhaps you could give me the full story of your breakfast. I think I neglected my duties as a hostess last night, and I would like to make sure the breakfast is ready for our guests.
There's no need for you to push yourself. You've just recovered.
I assure you, it is within my capabilities to provide breakfast to our guests. But if you wish to help, you can.
Of course. He will open the door for his mother.
And she will walk out. See, you notice as two people walk back past you, past the front door in order to go to where the kitchen is.
You see, heads turns to the side, and when they capture who the group actually is, they give one of the brief nod to acknowledge their presence, and then almost like a gargoyle, back to the front.
Oh, hello. I apologize. I think that you introduced yourself, but I've forgotten your name.
They pause for a second, and they look up. You may call me Micah or C, whatever is your preference.
Well, my preference would be to call you what you prefer. Which one do you like better?
They look down at the ground, and you just see kind of like, like a robot head starts to like click because there's like a gear that's like stuck in place, and they can't like move past a certain frame. That kind of is like what their head is doing at the moment as they try to think on this question. And then when they look up, they say, I have no preference. I am not meant for desire. You may call me what you wish.
Ah. My apologies then, Micah. Can I get you something to drink?
I do not drink.
Perhaps you would like a place to sleep?
I do not sleep. I am here to make sure this place is safe.
I don't remember. No. But I appreciate your dedication. If there's anything that I can provide, please do let me know.
Thank you. I and they just kind of like freeze for a second and then look back up. I hope your sleep was pleasant.
It is interesting. I do not normally sleep myself. I think I would prefer to avoid it in the future if possible.
I cannot understand, but I hope your wish is granted.
Really?
They nod.
How interesting. And kind of like as she moves to go into the kitchen, I think with that 24 perception, you hear as she's moving out. I would have thought hoping was quite a bit the same as wanting. And then she's out of the room. Argis, you're moving with your mother, or are you staying to talk to C?
He's going with his mom.
Okay. They both go into the kitchen. You hear sounds in there. Argis, do you have anything you want to talk to your mom about during this, or are we montaging the breakfast?
What happened? There appears to have been some sort of battle here.
No battle. We had just arrived that day. We're going through preparations of making sure everything was ready. There was a sound at the gate, and I turned and I saw someone walk in. And it's all I really remember. It was an unusual sight, though. This person had, well, we don't know that it's common in the fashions of other nations, but I believe that this person had snakes on their head.
That was what the things looked like, that, right?
That was what the Medusae looked like. That's true.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure. Yes, it appears it was a very strange entity from a ruin not too far from here.
Oh. Well, at least we know the whereabouts of the perpetrators. I hope that you've seen Etienne and Emirates. Afraid I didn't catch them as I went in.
Yes, Etienne is resting. Unfortunately, it appears that Emmet has fallen. They were turned into stone, much very similarly to yourself. However, they were shattered afterwards.
She doesn't pause on what she's doing, but she doesn't say anything for a little bit as she continues to chop vegetables for what she's getting ready for breakfast. And then she stops and looks at you and goes, I'm sorry, Argis. You spent quite a bit of time together as you were growing up through your first century, and
all right, I suppose I have seen a lot more death in the last bit of time than I intended to. In some ways, it becomes easier.
You've certainly seen more than I wished for you.
the Empire has fallen nearby as well while you were indisposed.
But the Grogans.
Yeah.
I don't imagine your father went around announcing Luxina's supremacy or something.
No, they... during our escape from the fall of the Academy, we ended up in their territory. And to be honest, I'm not entirely sure I understand everything. But they were not very happy with the presence of the younger one. And we were forced to defend ourselves. And from there, events led to a declaration of war, and, well, I was forced to eliminate... What was the name of the lady who I killed?
I feel like I need you to be slightly more specific.
You don't care about the unimportant people.
He's talking about Lady Sylvana.
Oh,
Yes, I cut her into two pieces with the sword.
that is true. That is true.
The other people do not count. They mean nothing. Don't even count on the official record. Lady Sylvana betrayed our home.
No.
Yes. We were forced to, I was forced to get rid of her. Also, apparently the Academy has several teachers that are very unique, I'll say, that I wasn't aware of. And we brought about the fall of the Empire and the deaths of thousands, most likely.
I would not believe it were it anyone but you telling me this. I do not share your father's temper, rare as it is seen, but it does rather sound like they tempted fate if they threatened you.
It was a difficult event. There was the vice chancellor was very effective, we'll say. I will not tell their story. I believe they have earned at least that much respect, but if it is at all possible, I believe the re-establishment of such an academy in our territory would be very effective.
I mean, our family does hold the lands for the old conservatory in the west. It probably could be reconfigured for the needs of an academy, if that is what is decided.
I would appreciate that.
You said the vice chancellor. You mean, what was his name? Praetor? Was that his name?
Do I know that name? Is that not the name?
Wilhelm Creator is his name. She's mispronouncing it a little bit, but she's got his last name.
Oh. Yeah. Yes, that is correct.
Oh. Well, considering his standing as a citizen of Therantomia, I think that we could probably arrange something in his name, perhaps even more efficiently than if we were dealing with someone else. Although I must ask where the Chancellor is.
I do not know. She was harmed in saving our lives, and as from what I understand it, begun a long process to recovery. She was also unique, we will say.
I suppose it would require unique people in order to properly educate such a variety of students from many backgrounds and disciplines.
Yes, they will most certainly be incredibly talented, but I am concerned that recent events have been difficult for them.
It does not speak to their ability to keep you and others safe. Though you were successfully delivered here after all of your trials and tribulations, so I suppose that's a point in their favor.
They did their best, but it appears that events have been put in motion that were started years ago. What do you know of the saint, Mother?
The saint?
Yes, Saint Justicia. There have been events involving her history recently.
Real quick, Rhea, I'm going to need you to give me a name. It is going to be your father's sister.
Do this.
Because I don't want to do it myself. That's why. It's an abuse of power, but one that I condone.
Not to do this. I'm not the DM. Alaria. We'll go with Alaria.
Alarin. I like it. So, your mother is just about finished with the prep work that she was doing for breakfast. You can see she's making your favorite. Of course she is. But she's got a wide spread of things that she's prepping because she doesn't know what anyone else eats, and she's trying to be a very good host. So she moves from, chopping capsicum to carrots. I don't know what she's doing. And she's like, well, what do you remember about Ilaria? Now, Ilaria was not around during your lifetime. So this would be stories that you've heard about Ilaria.
It's been a while, but she was quite talented, even more so than father. Very proud. A gifted spellcaster. Didn't take for fools very easily.
And despite being the older sibling, left her duties here and there in Talmiel in order to travel with a group of people who had an ambitious and perhaps ridiculous goal. I do believe that this saint was among them.
What do you remember about their goal?
Officially, not a lot. They did some peacekeeping, kind of delivered messages in dangerous places. But I don't think it takes an incredible mind to see the amount of talent that they took with them and the rather sudden cessation of events afterwards. I never understood the full picture of what they were trying to accomplish, but I believe they succeeded, although she never returned.
Do you know if she had any journals about her time with the saint? Oh, writings of any kind?
No. I mean, I don't know how much they knew each other before she left, but like I said, she did not come back, nor did any of her things. We presume her dead, given the amount of time it has been, but your father stepped into her place as eldest child and has guided the House of Lauren to its current status in her stead.
I can confirm that she has fallen, or had. It is entirely difficult for me to understand, but there was some sort of evil or darkness that was corrupting things. and they went about sealing it away, but it appears that whatever they did, it was not permanent, and things have begun once again. And it has fallen upon myself and these young adults, I suppose, to fix it.
Some sort of evil that you must face. Well, I hope that you do not mind me saying that I am not happy to hear this, considering she did not return. And I mean no offense. Her capabilities were more developed than your own. I seem to remember it is such a long time ago. She spoke of something. What's she called? I think Rixa is how she named it. Was this your evil?
Book never gave it a name, right? I don't think it ever.
The book gave the name Arasinozi. You've also heard it translated into common as the Strife.
No, but it was.
Make a history check.
Easy.
Make a history check.
Ooh, I get to roll history.
Hey, that's my gift to you.
Do I get it? I don't get advantage on history checks, right? That's not a thing. Yeah.
Do I remember that your sword gives you something? Can you double check for me?
Yes. You can. I can once per day get a free reroll. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna use that to reroll again.
Okay.
Okay, so I got a dirty 20.
Nice. You remember when you were in the library at the academy speaking to the archivist, Theophania, and you guys were looking at the book prior to, like, returning to it and being able to talk to it and all of that kind of stuff. And you were kind of looking at the diagrams and things. And she was pointing out, like, oh, that's weird. This is really ancient this is really ancient that. And you're like, I bet you, if I was to look at, like, real ancient Elvish, Rixie is going to mean the same thing. Rixa, whatever it's called.
What can you tell me about this Rixia?
I mean, there were some who waged wars against encroaching armies and held our defenses when they needed to be held. There were some that plotted for the successful survival of our people in terms of food supplies and other necessities. It was a time that was exceedingly difficult, Vardris. I hope nothing like it ever happens in your lifetime, because it took centuries to train myself out of some of the things that I had to learn. But there were some who said that there was more to the wars. I think that Ilaria got caught up in all this. I'm guessing she must have been right, since the wars did end. The conflict stopped, but I'm afraid I don't know the details.
Well, this is a conversation for all of us to have together, but I can confirm conflict is coming, and unfortunately, due to unique circumstances that I'm not willing to discuss because they are not mine. We were informed that these events had occurred before, and we attempted to prevent them. Older versions of ourselves, and we ultimately failed. And we are going to attempt to prevent it this time.
I'll tell you what, it's going to take her a long moment to digest that one. Like, it's pretty heavy for, like, chopping veggies, you know what I mean? So she's just going to diligently works on her sous chef, like, for a bit. I guess just chef since she's doing her own work. And then as she gets stuff together and is ready to take it out, she's like, okay, if you will take this one for me, I think I can take these. Oh, and please grab the pitcher for tea.
Yes. And he does so.
And she does not bring up what you've said yet. You know your mother, you know that she is not a person who speaks hastily. She's the kind of person that really deliberates. Her and your father both of them are very deliberate people. Different from each other, but in this way they are very similar. And so you believe fully that she heard you and she understood you, but she's not going to say anything until she understands her own mind about it. Anything else?
No.
For the rest of you, daylight is breaking. You find yourselves coming to rested and relaxed awareness. For Yvain, you're a little less rested, a little less relaxed, but you do get that long rest in. And you can just barely smell what sounds like some delicious food, or what smells like some delicious food down for breakfast. And while you head down, we'll take a break right here. All right, as you all come down for breakfast, you are joined by Loom, Jorhan, and Etienne. So it is a full breakfast table as everyone comes down for their morning victuals. As Loom comes down, kind of takes in everybody, he walks over to you, Kelly. Well. Mr. Blitz, I would ask how you slept, but it's kind of written all over your face.
Professor Operate, except I'm tired.
Right. I was wondering if you could tell me more about your little friend. And he kind of makes eyes over at where Yvain is currently getting her food and sitting down.
Tell you more about my friend.
Long story short, you left the school, and now you've come back with more people than when you left.
Well, you have to remember, Professor, I learned how to make friends from the best, so I'm exceptional at it.
Well, from what I can tell, the Kellen Blitz method of making friends is generally being trapped in the same room and hyperfixating on things in roughly the same amount of time.
You're not wrong. Okay, so here's the story, right? You remember how a certain benefactor left us a teleportation circle to not die while being chased?
Yes, I do.
We met her about around that time, and it seemed prudent to maybe also not her let suffer the consequences of us being chased. So we brought her with us, and as it turns out, she has exceptional talent.
But not a student.
Well, not yet. If only there were someone adept at convincing people of things to convince her that Rivenwood Academy was the right place to be. What? Do you know anyone like that, Professor Loom?
I have exactly one student in mind.
Exactly. Miri, please inform Yvain of why it's important for her to become a student at Rivenwood Academy.
Miri has food in her mouth.
Loom gives a big, heavy sigh, and you hear him mutter to himself as he goes to get his own breakfast. I swear, you never do change. And he goes and gets some breakfast and sits down close to where Arta's mother's sitting after he greets her.
But Kellen does get up and move over to be closer to Yvain.
Nice. So I'm imagining that Yvain is flanked on one side by C and on the other side by Kellen. Jorhan is the last to arrive, and all of you know what Kellen looks like when he's pulled an all-nighter. Jorhan has pulled an all-nighter. It's what? Yeah. Breakfast, yes. And grabs a plate and just sits at whatever chair's open.
Did you still want me to convince Yvain? Kellen?
Yes?
What? Oh, nothing.
That,
I'm
that
happy.
one.
I'm happy to assist. It's just I assumed that, well, to be quite honest, you'd be a lot better at it.
Sure, but I was asking if you still wanted me to. Is it the yes?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Mary?
My method of problem solving is efficient, so
You two do realize I am sitting right here, right?
Oh yeah.
My goodness, I had completely forgotten. He says jokingly.
That's quite rude, Kellen. Why would you say that to her?
It's a joke. It's a joke. Do you not see the smile on my face? It's my goodness.
She leans in. Kind of always look like that.
Wait, what?
It's okay. We'll talk about it another time. So, Yvain, you want
yes.
to, I guess everybody's trying to ask you to join the academy.
Oh, well, you see, when I find my mentor, I am going back to the monastery.
But you're really gifted about magic and stuff. Don't you want to know more?
But yes, but I'm under her, so really it would be her decision.
I don't see her here, and we're just trying to look for her. So
I really would have to ask.
Well, I'm pretty sure I don't need those things on my face to help me see. I don't see your mentor here. And it looks like you're on your own.
Yes, I am.
Loom snaps his fingers. Morgenstern, right?
What?
Huh?
Morgenstern.
Yes?
Wonderful. I never forget a name. Took me a little bit, though. I'm slipping.
Would you like to share with the class, as you like to say, Professor?
Well, I suppose that would depend on if you would like to share with the class. And he looks over at Yvain.
Yeah, my last name?
Yeah, Morgenstern.
Yes, that is my last name.
Yes.
Why is that relevant, sir?
Oh, no, I thought that you must be the Morgenstern. That's all. We hadn't met yet, but...
Oh, well, I thought you meant the other one. Yes, I am Yvain Morgenstern. I am a novice at the... it's very early for this.
Yes. Isolde has spoken of you.
You saw her?
Yes. I mean, we didn't get to talk for very long. I was kind of doing a thing at the time, but I saw her.
Where did she go?
No, north.
Oh. What's north of here?
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly where she was heading. I guess Aresia is north of here.
She just like looks to Ardris like, do you know where that is?
Is the country north of here. It is very impossible to miss if you just go north from here.
Also quite large. And a very interesting governmental structure, very different from both Dulendorn, where I'm from, and Theratamiel, and of course the Tulesian dynasty. Some would call it lawless, or rather very lawful, just in very specific parts.
Where'd she go?
Before anyone thinks of going there, we are not exactly doing very well on visiting other countries at the moment.
I think it sounds like a wonderful place. And it's where Yvain's mentor is, right? So...
Well, it should be clear, I did not say that she was there. You asked me where she was going. The last I saw, she was heading north.
It's going to be a very long train to find her, I see.
You
Are you
didn't
unable to ask her?
There wasn't anyone with her, was there? Was she solo?
There. I will admit, Ms. Morgenstern, I'm a little bit concerned by the line of questioning. I mean, surely you've got her missives.
No.
She sent several letters. In fact, actually, and he abruptly stands up, if you'll excuse me, Lady Lauren, and heads upstairs.
Oh.
It's okay, Yvain. He does this sometimes. I think he just runs up. He ran out of class one time.
She just kind of like slides down in her chair, slowly sinking underneath the table.
Technically speaking, Ms. Mary, I did not run out of class. I merely had other places to be.
In the middle of a sentence, it sounded like you just ran out of class.
Sometimes in the middle of a sentence, you have other places to be. This is for you, Ms. Morgenstern. And he hands you a small little letter.
She'll take it. Oh, thank you. And she's going to open it and read it.
Oh, it is very short. It says, it's dated at the top, and then there's a number, and it says number 12. It says, Yvain, I am traveling. I hope you are well. Don't get in trouble. And then at the end it says, Isolde.
Where's the other 11?
I presume that she thought you had them.
Oh, no, I didn't know. I wonder if the head of the monastery might have taken them. She does that on occasion. If you do excuse me, I need to, go outside for a brief moment.
Lo just, like, watches you leave and sits down. Ardris and Kellen, and I'll say, Otis, you can pop in that too. Go ahead and make insight checks for me.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Oh.
I rolled a 5.
Oh.
Otis rolled a 6 for a total of 15.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see okay right now?
You absolutely can. Yeah, do I mean, we both know, like both me, the
Does
DM, and Jorhan know in our hearts what's going to happen.
Does he happen to be involved in anything that requires deep concentration?
He doesn't look like he's capable of deep concentration right now. He is like very mechanically, like just picking up a piece of vegetable and eating it, and then like very rote kind of.
Is this a thing that I could chronal shift? Am I like watching facial expressions or something like obvious that really could be repeated? Because
this is something that you can chronal shift because you're specifically watching Loom space right now.
Okay, cool. I'm doing it. Excellent. Well, that just turned my 13 into a 24.
Nice.
Wow. Big ups. So for the rest of you, you don't notice this. Khaled, you're looking at him and you're like, there's something there, but I don't figure it out. You give yourself 6 seconds. You look at Loom and everything seems perfectly clear to you that you've seen this kind of look on Loom's face before when he's looked at you or at Miri or at Micah, especially during class where, you know, you're asked to do something and he's observing and kind of like calculating possible outcomes. So like you see this look on his face that like, overtly he's being very charming and a good guest and focused on his breakfast and happy to have delivered a letter. But like you see that it doesn't appear like he's fabricated a letter or something like that. It's not like he's like making this up in order to test her, but like he's paying attention. There's something about her that is very interesting to him. And then, as you finish doing that, you look over at Jorhan, who has his hand frozen in midair and is just kind of looking at you, blinking. And then he sighs.
I give him a thumbs up.
He very tiredly chews his broccoli and then gives you a thumb sideways.
That's on brand, yep.
Can Micah follow suit after Yvain?
Like you want to leave the table and go after?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So C will set up, look at the others, and say, I will follow. And they start to go after where Yvain heads off to.
So you head over to the door. The door can't be seen from where they're currently eating. But you get to the door, and Yvain's still at the door on the inside.
When C looks over towards Yvain, they will look up at her and say, Micah wants to check on you. It is hard to keep them restrained. Are you okay?
Honestly, no. She's like trying to get the door open and it's not opening, and she's getting a little frustrated with it. Don't know why this thing will not open.
Micah will open up, C will offer up their hands to Yvain and say, here, hold my hand.
Oh, okay. She should very take them.
And Micah is going to try to cast the Mitchell door out of the place.
Excellent. Let me double check really quick. I think this will work.
Modern problems require modern solutions.
Dimension door is what type of magic? What school?
Let me double check.
Oh, actually, I gotta look up the wording for dimension door. Because originally I was like, yes, this will work, but now I'm not entirely certain.
It's a conjuration. It says you teleport yourself from your location to any other spot within range.
I'm going to say that this is going to work, but it feels weird. It feels super weird. It feels like normally when you dimension door, like it's just like you blink and you're from one spot to another spot. This feels somehow long, like you're swimming through molasses, even though it still takes the exact same kind of instant kind of time. It feels weird. You're visualizing directly outside the door.
Mike, C kind of turns their head to the side, almost again like a clock that's kind of been stuck as a watch in confusion, and they will look towards Yvain and say, "That's not normal. But you are outside now."
Oh, thank you. Micah, I do apologize. Can I just? She's gonna walk like roughly 15 feet away, and she's just going to let out a loud scream as what looks like shadowy skeletal wings come out from her as she activates her necrotic shroud.
Ooh. Oh, that's good. Yeah, besides the wings, are there any other like physical, like, do you visually look any different, like in your facial features, or?
Her eyes do glow with like a very like dark blue, because her eyes are blue. And because she's also a shadow sorcerer, I just imagine just like shadow just starts leaking down her face. Because she's crying and she's upset.
Yes, that is such a beautiful and also very sad visual image. From inside the house, I think you can very, very mutely hear this scream. You don't hear it like, "Oh my God, someone's screaming." It's more like, "Oh, there was a sound."
Are you sure? For Otis?
I am sure for the way that the house is constructed.
Very well.
It's not that you can't hear that something happened, but it's like everything is very muted.
Okay. Well, Otis is definitely going to make like a jerk reaction to that. Literally turn his head very owl-like toward the door. Mary may find this unnerving.
She does, because she also just saw somebody who was quite frantic and upset disappear through a dimension door. And now there's a weird muffle sound, and then Otis just turns and freaking out. She's like, "What is going on?"
Oh yeah, I didn't tell you.
You all should not try teleporting outside of here. It's not safe.
I do want to watch.
It's not very safe.
Let's cut to outside, because I want to follow this conversation with Yvain and see.
So C sees the display, and they turn their head to the side in confusion as they are struggling to understand the display before them. And then slowly, ever so gently, the eye starts to transition back to a more humanistic fashion. And while she's crying, Yvain would just feel two small arms kind of wrap around their midsection from the back. And they don't say anything, but Micah is just there kind of like holding her. It's actually Micah, it's not C this time. And they just stand there as she's creeped.
She does just like sink down to her knees and just lets Micah give her a hug.
And they kind of like lean their head against her. And they say, "I'm here."
I'm really glad you're here. She's gonna like try and like get her arm around to give him a hug.
I saw from its sight. I kind of noticed yesterday something was wrong, but I couldn't get out. So, but I wanted to be here for you.
I really do appreciate that, Micah. Thank you very much.
Oh, do you want me to keep this a secret from others?
If you don't mind, I find people tend to not tends to scare some people. Be honest, I'm not usually the one that they like.
Wait, what? Why? You're nice and kind, sweet.
Oh, well, it's kind of hard to explain. I mean, I don't know if you have siblings. I have an older brother, and he's the favorite normally. And if I don't know why she left.
Oh. Well, do you think she left because of something that happened?
Well, I mean, she left after he left, and I don't know if she went after him, but it wouldn't surprise me.
You want to find her, right?
Very much so.
Well, I could perhaps find someone who can try to track her. Will that help you?
Yes, I want to know why she left. I don't understand why I never got the rest of her letters. I was there for months, no letters arrived, and now this one's the 12th, and where are the other 11? Why did she leave? She told me she was coming back, and I'm very tired of people lying to me.
Oh. Well, hopefully she's not lying, and maybe something was dangerous that she did not want to make you worry. But I also see that there are also bad people around. And they kind of like think back about like their biological family, and they look towards her and say, well, even if she did leave, we won't leave. We promise.
I really appreciate that. And she doesn't take like a breath and let the wings disappear, and she touches her face. Oh heavens! I look. Oh, where's my handkerchief? She's gonna like try and like clean her face off.
Michael placed their little bitty hands like around her cheeks and like kind of use their little thumbs if you allow them to like kind of like rub off the smears of tears and say, I hope that felt better for you.
It did. It's been very stressful last few months. I do hope I didn't cause any damage to the estate or anything. I don't want to ruin anything. This place is very expensive. It looks very expensive.
Yeah. Oh, I could fix it if something is broken. And they'll just take a quick look around and see if there's...
Yeah, she's like looking around. Just like, did I break anything?
The statue cracker.
It's really nice because it's a super sunny day, but you can see... Actually, Argis, what does it look like, the sanctum? I know it's a big old cube, but like, physically, what does it look like?
It's just a cube of space. It doesn't look like anything from just looking at it. There might be
You
like
look
a
into-
like a heat wavy thingy.
Yeah.
You know what that called? It may look like that kind of.
Yeah, I like that. You look up into a beautiful, bright blue sky, and you see very few birds around here, more further away from you. And there is kind of that like mirage shimmer effect that gives you some like peace and security. Nothing seems to be damaged or injured around you. Looks as you left it.
Nothing seems broken.
Oh, good. She finish wiping off her face, and she goes, "How do I look? Do I look normal? No, it's probably red." Like
No.
tapping her cheeks.
You're very pretty.
Thank you. It's Oh heavens, we better get back before the others discover that.
Wait,
Don't want to
wait.
worry.
Can I, before I'm taken away, can I show you something?
Oh, of course.
And so they're going to cast Minor Illusion. And as they cast Minor Illusion, you see like this area of like this purple miasma base, like almost like demi-plane of sorts. And outside, you see a little small individual that looks like Micah with standard hair with like pajamas standing in there. And there's a bubble and levitated about 5 feet up. And within that bubble looks to be something that looks like Micah, but their hair, instead of being hair, is like purple cables. Their skin is like there is almost have black circles between their eyes, their slits. They look like gears. They're very slender and they're like curled up in a ball. And slowly you start to see like the individual inside that has individual inside the bubble start to transition out, and the Micah starts to transition back in. And as you do so, you also start to notice Micah's humanistic eyes start to shift away back to sea. And they say, "Now you know our secret. So
Wait,
we are more connected now."
We are. I won't tell anyone. But why do you shift?
I am the essence of balance.
Oh.
Micah is what's left behind. But sometimes Micah's feelings overwhelm, and that comes through me.
But it is all right to have feelings. I mean, everybody does. Sometimes you just got to let them out.
I saw from you. That's why I wanted to share, to connect, but I am balanced. I have no emotions. Micah does.
Oh. It seems like you both have a very complicated situation going on.
But we promise to be with you.
I appreciate that. Shall we go join the others?
They nod.
I hope the door works this time.
And they'll head over towards the door.
You get to the door. There's no door handle. You don't see any way. Like you push on it, nothing happens. It's interesting though. You try to hear through it. You think something's on the other side.
She just knocks on it.
Otis, you are aware that someone is very lightly knocking on this door.
Someone's knocking on the door.
I will go and open the door.
As soon as Argus opens the door, Nazareth flies through the door and lands on Micah/C's head.
Well, you two, all right.
All right.
Yes, your doors are very weird. Your house is beautiful, but your doors are weird.
Teleportation felt weird.
Don't do that. My house is normal. The rest of you very lacking security. Anyway, it's not important. Please, you may enter.
Oh, thank you. She'll let Micah go in first.
Yeah, Micah would slide towards their chair, and as they sit down, they would just look and say, "Oh, do not do what?"
Teleporting. It's a very bad idea. Anyway, everyone, this is my mother. This is my classmates and a traveler that we met while surviving. This is Evane and Otis and Kellen and Miri and Micah, or C, I suppose.
It is a pleasure to meet you all in somewhat more full faculties this morning. I hope you enjoyed your breakfast.
Oh, what's good?
It is
Hi,
very
friends.
good. Yes.
Thank you. And the other two, Otis?
Oh, right. Yeah, you look at Kellen. Not entirely sure how to, what we're doing here for this. If Kellen doesn't say anything. Go, Kellen.
He looks at Argus. He's like, well, it's a long story, but that's me.
Not exactly what I was going to say, but I suppose it works.
Right at the bat.
I am Professor Alfred Loom of Rivenwood Academy. This is my traveling companion,
Me.
Johan. Occasionally also known as Kellen.
Yeah. No, never mind. Yes, I mentioned earlier that there was a particular circumstances. I would not assume that you, and you look at Oakland, would mind explaining everything that you know for everyone, including your circumstances for being here.
Huh? What?
It's cool.
Oh.
I got it. So listen,
Heavens,
okay.
both.
Apparently, there was this alternate timeline, right, involving all of us, except we'd been allowed the convenience of being able to, grow up for a number of years more than, being 17 or whatnot. And in that timeline, they were fighting against this great evil, right, by resealing these ancient places that had been sealed with magic. To keep back this, I think it's called the strife. Well, over time, the seal started to break down because, well, as everyone here I'm sure is aware, not all forms of magic are really very often ever perfect. So when that started happening, they started repairing it. Well, that got more and more difficult until they got to the last one and sealed it and discovered that that wouldn't be enough. So a number of us with skills accumulated over decades worth of experience apparently created some kind of spell using me he points over at OK as a focus because we can sort of kind of manipulate time like a little bit. And since him here to help us, hopefully not fail this time.
Your mother listens very politely and stoically to all of that, to everything you say, to everything Kellen says. Her eyes never leave Jorhan.
Is that offensive? I'm really sorry if it is.
I don't believe you've said anything worth offense. Thank you for your brief but efficient summation.
No problem.
Is that these seals require a certain amount of sacrifice to complete, and I believe that Ontalaria was one such sacrifice.
Did you know her? She's still looking at Jorhan, who, like, after several minutes of being looked at, kind of finally realized it and has met her eyes and is like, who? Alaria Aloran, apparently one of the first people to create the seals in order to stop the Rixa. Jorhan looks at Kellen, and then looks at Loom, and then looks at Ardris. Sorry, ma'am, no, I don't recognize her name. So, that means that the seals have been created or recreated twice already, and will require a third time. Did I understand that correctly?
Well, I think where they got fixed the second time was sort of kind of like a parallel universe.
Takes a moment. I will have to think about that.
That makes sense.
How do you know it was fixed?
Well, some of them were, but like the real problem is that it wasn't, right? When OK's crew got to the end, they realized that it wasn't enough.
So how do we know that what we're doing is helping?
Won't be enough this time either. If my aunt was there and they were unable to do it, then I'm afraid there won't be much that we can do unless we come up with an alternative. Aunt Alaria, according to the stories, was a superior spellcaster to both me and my father by a wide margin. I'm afraid if we just keep retracing their steps, it won't end very well.
Well, sure, but I mean, it's also required that we're going to have to at least do that too, right?
I think we should, so that we know. Maybe we can find out where they went wrong.
We still don't know nothing about them. All we've been doing is fighting things and putting magic in them. Maybe that ain't what we're supposed to do.
I would like to check the book, Dungeon Master.
There is... You bust out this book, which your mother does briefly part her gaze from Jorhan to give you the smallest frown, and then looks back at him. But as you open it, there's already one line written. And it says, she was the first.
I will write back. Oh, I don't know. I've asked all the questions. Hold on, I need a second.
Agree.
It appears my aunt was the first to make such a sacrifice.
Okay, your mother's eyes are now fully on you.
Anything like you, that makes sense.
A brief look at Cullen and then back to you.
The saint may have, in some manner that I don't understand, imparted at least a portion of her consciousness for this journal, and it allows me to ask questions of her, but unfortunately, I have reached a dead end.
Wait a minute.
Otis got a big frown on his face.
Can you ask her?
My apologies, Mr. Blitz. Continue.
No, I'm sorry. I'm in your house. I'm just wondering, can you ask her whom the other 5 individuals were? If one of them was one of your descendants, I'm curious what the other people were like.
I will ask that question to the spirit of the book.
Okay, hold on. I gotta zoom through my notes real quick.
Trying to put pressure on the dungeon master.
You Kelly with
All
the fastball questions. I know. I was like, oh, that's a good question. I'm curious.
Your turn for being put on the spot.
Is that from her? Is that from Ariel asking you about coming out with her name?
You know, that's just rude. Turn about all that. Like, come on.
Balance.
Balance, fair play.
Balance has been bestowed. Balance has been restored.
Oh no, I've lost one specific name and it's driving me crazy because I'm trying to find it. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. Take your time.
You guys RP amongst yourselves for a second.
Hey, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an owl now.
You don't look like one.
Otis goes into his hybrid form. And you see like feathers, and Otis's eyes are going to get much wider than usual, like about here in proportion to his face. And he's going to get a little, I'm assuming he's going to go for more of the horned owl look. So he'll get a little tufts of hair will stick out, kind of like owl's horns. And he'll be like, yeah. Negative for charisma, like he doesn't know how to
yeah.
And Otis is happy. You can tell that Otis is happy. Like he's smiling when he does this. It shows you.
Yeah. Miri looks very surprised. Oh, you being like an actual owl.
I mean, I could do it before, but now I can kind of go in between the two. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Has anybody else seen this?
Yeah.
Please don't do this ever again.
I do it or what?
I could have told you that was coming.
Oh yeah, Otis also frowns when he says that to Ardris.
How does an owl frown? Like, what does that look like?
Never seen owls go in attack mode. And their brows like.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. So C will look towards Otis and say, "Is this new?
Yeah.
How did this happen?"
I had a dream or whatever. Met this nice tree. Had a nice face. Said I could take a name or whatever. I said, yeah. She said I could do what I want. Because I protect things in the wild.
Oh.
What?
That was a nice tree.
Yeah.
What is tree name?
I mean, Otis did get it. I know you gave it to me, Aaron. What Otis got that part?
is the name of the goddess of nature.
Oh, yeah, I have it written down. It's just I don't know if Otis got it.
Yeah, no, she said it one time. She mostly
Okay,
talked about herself as all that is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
Which is one of her other names. But Paranon, she said it one time.
Said something about name being all that is. And then she said Paranon, so I'm going to go with that.
I mean, if you're happy.
Yeah. Otis starts smiling again, looking at me. But he'll go back to his humanoid form, so Otis will look more like the Otis you know.
Very impressive.
I ain't asked you for nothing. Otis frowns again, looking at him.
Oh.
I don't think that we should be arguing like this at the table.
Daughter, what?
For this.
Why?
I mean, what if you make another mom mad?
Val actually settled Otis down.
The chocolate's coming out, hitting straight on his face.
Make one mom mad, you don't want another one mad.
Oh, he got a track record of moms he'd made mad. It's like 4.
Yeah.
At least 4. Otis will say to Lady-in-law, like, sorry, I just don't like him too much. I told you that last night. That's his attempt to be polite, by the way. That's his attempt to be polite.
This is new. Why do you not like Ardris?
A lot happened, okay, kid? Am I even talking to the kid right now or that agent of balance or whatever?
I am balanced.
Well, I don't know balance too well. I know the kid.
I actually think I can answer that one, kid. You see, Ardris thrives in structure where he has some measure of control around the things that are going on. And Otis thrives where he can do what he wants.
It's a little more than that, but I suppose.
So
that's the basic tenet of it, really.
So, imbalance, is that correct?
I don't know about all that. I just do what I want.
They turn their head to the side and they look towards Ardris and notices Ardris isn't saying anything. And they look towards Kellen and say, I think I understand now.
Yo, this is glorious. Otis will just be saying, "Oh, we good? We still good?
Oh, yeah.
Aaron is muted."
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a long freaking message to write him out. So give me just.
Oh, you good? You good?
I'm just gonna send it to him in the chat because that way he can.
I'm about to say, I can keep going.
Yeah,
I love every second of this. Don't let me stop you.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to make sure. I was just like, oh, make sure we don't cut her off. Okay, cool, perfect. Okay, where were we at? Oh, so
I was about to say something, but you go for it, big dog.
Oh no, go ahead.
Hey, Evade.
Oh, yes.
You said you was looking for somebody, right?
Yes, my mentor. who obviously writes me letters and I don't get them, but that's, we'll process that another day. Yes?
Why'd you ask me? I could have helped you. I'm good at finding things.
It wasn't exactly at the top of my list when we had everything else to deal with. Ardris's mother was in danger.
She not no more. And Otis will look over at Lady Alarm. You ain't no more, right?
That is, in substance, correct. I am currently here.
See, she ain't no more.
We just had a lot going on that seemed more important than finding my mentor.
So what? You say you don't want to find her now?
But I do. I don't know if we have anything else that might take priority. I mean, she's obviously fine.
You ain't got to do nothing you ain't want to do. You ain't even part of the school yet or whatever.
Speaking of that, what would it take to convince you that Rivenwood Academy is the place for you to be?
I've never been to a school before, and I don't know. Wait, did you say the school exploded?
It did a while back, but I think they're trying to, make something new. We could just go into like a tent and just do that.
How about I sleep on it and I will get you a proper response another day.
You just slept, didn't you?
Well, I think we can have a conversation about it. It doesn't need to be, a decision without you asking questions. But I would keep in mind that once the school has already exploded, it's unlikely to do so again anytime soon. Really.
How you know that, Kellen?
I don't think that's a very encouraging thing.
Well, because people don't look out for explosions until one happens, and then they start looking for ways to make sure that doesn't happen again, Otis.
That's how that sort of stuff works.
Does
anyone require more coffee or tea?
Could I get more coffee, please?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you.
He wants more coffee, and Kellen points at okay.
I'll take some of that leaf water.
I could use a little bit more tea, but Yvain, I did want to say, I know that we keep asking you, and you want to find your mentor. Just know that we're gonna try and find her, but you should also think about what you want to do on your own, at least while you're with us.
I don't really know what I really want to do outside of... I guess I got some things to think on.
It takes time, but I understand what it kind of means to just go away for a little while and make your own decisions. I ran away from home, and then my dad found me at the academy, and it was scary, but I think once you're actually in it, going around with us or even doing things on your own, you may think something more, I can't think of the word, stable?
I'll think on it. I really want to find her and ask her why on several things. She does turn back to Professor Loom. Was she actually was she alone? You never answered that question. Was there, someone else with her? Blonde, kind of swarmy?
When I met with her, I didn't see anyone with her. Again, it was very much a kind of passing moment, and I promised to deliver the letter to a place that would get it to you. Fortuitous that I found you instead.
Something clicked in Kellen's head, and his eyes like dart over to Loom, and he just goes, "Hey, Loom."
Mr. Blitz.
You seem to be somewhat familiar with Yvain's mentor. Do you happen to know what sort of profession she might engage in?
I believe that she's quite skilled.
With
At the discovery of information, transfer of information, perhaps? Kellen's just looking at him knowingly.
The DM is just looking at. All right.
She's a nun. I don't know if we do any sort of things like that outside. I mean, she could have something going on that she didn't ever told me. I would explain why she was a bit shifty in some things, but you know, it's
if I remember correctly, Professor, you have a lot of friends in a lot of places.
Indeed. Kellen nods his head.
That is true. It is a primary tenet of how I conduct myself in my life that I attempt to make friends, acquaintances, accomplices, and those who will listen to me everywhere I go.
It sounds more like you make a lot of business arrangements and talk with those business arrangements frequently. Am I correct in this?
You know, I do appreciate what you're trying to do here, but I think it might be better to just be more direct.
With all due respect, I do have news for everyone.
Does it involve Yvain's mentor being one of Loom's contacts?
No.
Miri
No.
just gives Bloom a stink eye as soon as Kellen says it.
Unfortunately, it appears that everyone that worked with the Saints suffered immensely. It appears that Elia was first. Someone named the Weaver. I will just read the entire paragraph out of fear of misremembering or misunderstanding. Elia's despair came first, the biggest sacrifice demanded by the desperate fight against the Turtle Swell. The Weaver wove the hunger and Mesra of Sazvael gave his envy as the fear of the one who walks was consumed. Grieving Givra suffered long. Katu's wrath and Colin burned fiercely until he knelt in stone. I placed the final seal alone. If my memory recalls, during our trip to one of the earlier seals, there was a statue. I was kneeling, made of stone. I don't understand the others, though. It appears, if my memory recalls correctly, Katu is the goddess of justice. And Sazvael is a city, but that's all I know.
That's a big lore drop leap. Good grief. Oh, man.
You know, sometimes it takes time, but I hope that it's always worth it in the end. You know what I mean?
It's just typing it out. Like, I don't want to get lost. There's so much going down.
Wait a minute. Ardris, repeat the name of that city?
Sazvael. Let me know if I'm mispronouncing that, by the way, Dio.
It's better than I can pronounce it. I mean, the longer I don't have to say it, the better we don't have to think about it.
We get some keywords in chat.
Sazvael. I know that city.
Oh? And it is what?
Yay!
The city of assassins that I happen to be very familiar with.
You also, when you got to that name, you saw Shorhan also look up.
Was there a person with that name?
No.
Perhaps Mesra?
Does Mesra sound familiar to me, or could that be something that I could have a history check about?
I will give you a history check, but because of you already know why, it's with disadvantage.
Indeed. That is a total of 11 after the disadvantage.
I mean, better than average. You think about it for a while, and you're like, this row. It's not. Let me put it this way: you can't put a face to the name.
It has that eerie touch of familiarity, but without any connection to it. I'll have to think about it.
Thinking
Question.
back.
Oh,
Yes.
for the DM, when I was talking with the thing I could not see, did it talk about hunger? Did she remember that?
I slept since then. Hold on. Check my notes. I don't have anything about hunger in my notes, but that doesn't mean I didn't say it in the moment.
All right, because I don't remember. Well, we got the name, the basket weaver. It's here.
From your hip,
Basket weaver.
from your hip, you and only you hear the weaver. Interesting.
Miri just under her breath says, "The basket weaver."
Basket.
You know, Otis is gonna hear that. That's what's that stuff.
Yeah, you don't hear Gravitus, but you definitely hear what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I would hear Miri saying that. What you say about basket weaving?
I was talking to myself. Just the word weaver, I guess. I saw more strings again.
Otis looks worried.
When we were at the first seal, does anyone recall there being any statues? Or any?
There were skeletons.
There were statues as well, I believe.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think there were.
Yeah, there
was
were.
You fought skeletons and
Yeah,
beholder zombies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was no statues at all there? Right. Don't remember.
I guess not.
But I thought there was. Yeah, I thought the
definitely at the
seal.
No,
second
there
one.
were stalagmites and stalactites. So maybe that's what you're thinking of.
Was it the seal a statue?
No, the seal was like woven around a whole bunch of like rubble and stuff, so it was three-dimensional.
There,
No, like that thing in the ground.
there was like a basically podium that was used to access the
that's true.
arcane
There was
energies.
the-
That might be what you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was similar to one of our challenges earlier in the carnival.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Oh, I have an idea that may work, but I'm not entirely sure. If we return to Thymos, we may be able to undo the petrification on Colin. Perhaps he can explain to us what happened the first time, and if there were any decisions they were forced to make or sacrifices they were forced to take.
Otis frowns but says nothing.
Your mother frowns but says nothing, and then she's not frowning anymore. It's a very very brief, like a squint.
I mean, personally,
Use our words, people. You have to use our words.
Otis don't like you, dog. I'm sorry.
personally, I have been interested in going back to a seal that we've already visited just to see how things are going along with it.
If you don't mind, I apologize. I just wanted to make sure that I fully understand what's going on. Your father's sister your aunt, left along with a group of people in order to create something you are calling seals in order to stop something bad. And then this individual, and she nods towards Johan, has come to you from a similar but separate universe, having already tried to restore these seals because something bad is happening again. And now you, children, are planning to not return to your schooling, but instead to travel the world trying to do what the legendary heroes of 5 centuries past did in their glory. And you are currently looking into the options of seeing a village of assassins or traveling to a place that you have previously done to perhaps resurrect one of these legends to ask further questions. Somewhere in the middle of this, you have both started and ended a war. Am I missing anything?
It's not, Mother.
Oh yeah, we might die or whatever. That's important.
We died once before. This would just be restoring balance.
Hey, the kid died. I don't know about you.
They turn their head to the side, confused at that statement. And then as their head just jerks, they just kind of like lean back against the chair.
Lady Lauren, if I may.
Mr. Kellen, one of...
You know what the difference is between a legendary hero and someone who is just talented and strong?
I would imagine time and probably a gruesome death, given the evidence I've received so far.
Those are probably related, but not specifically the difference that I'm thinking of. The difference is that a legendary hero hears the call and comes to meet it. Someone who is simply talented and strong finds a comfortable place to sit and wait for other people to do the work.
And you, in your, 30 years, 40 years, you think that you have received a call to, what? Sacrifice yourself?
If that has to be the outcome, then yes.
Otis narrows his eyes big time.
I don't think we should automatically assume that we're going to sacrifice ourselves, but I don't see anybody else coming to stop this.
I'm gonna write in the book.
And what do you write?
And we free Colin.
You see the writing appear slowly, and it says, "All we have done is to stand in front of what seems to be the impossible and say no. You may be able to do this, but I wouldn't know the consequences. If you do,
We'll go to.
tell him I said hello."
I will go and attempt to free Colin. I believe, like all great magic, it will require some sort of sacrifice. But well, it appears that that is in my family.
Chris, I believe we are overdue a much longer conversation. If you wouldn't mind. And she gestures towards the room that she stayed in that night.
Well,
I got some high insight people here. Otis, resident insider. Go ahead and roll it for me.
You got it. That is a 22.
Not bad. Not bad. You see in the corner of Yvain's eyes frustration and fear and sadness. And you see confusion on Miri, and also determination and worry and hope. On Jorhan's face, you see exhaustion and something much more deeply sorrowful. Something that looks closer to resignation. And on Argis's mother's face, you very carefully see absolutely nothing at all. As she follows him into that room, and the door quietly clicks shut. We'll pause here for tonight's session.
Whoo! So much juicy good role play. Oh man, this is so good. This is so good. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We definitely did. Again, if you like what you see here, definitely make sure to join us at our Discord to talk about the campaign. We got spoilers as well as a non-spoiler section. We would love to hear your thoughts as these characters may look to have one final hurrah going off and sacrificing themselves for these seals. We shall see. With that said, we'll see you for our next episode of Rivenwood Academy. But until then, farewell for now.